Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
My name is Asa.
I'm Jim.
And we are your astute wind counselors to get you through the week with any daily grind issues you may be experiencing or any problems that you want us to address for you. So let's get to our first winner. Our first winner hails from Athens, Greece, and his name is Georgie. And he writes, Dear Win, I just returned from vacationing in Colorado and love your state. If you had to live anywhere besides Colorado, where would you live and why?
Oh. California.
Where in California?
Southern California.
And
SoCal.
Yeah. And why?
I've always romanticized SoCal. I think my life would be so amazing. I'd like ride a skateboard.
Right.
I'd like break into people's backyards and skate in their empty pools and stuff.
Oh, man.
Would it be 1983?
It would. Yeah.
Thrasher style?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Oh.
Yeah. I'd be out there in just like some cut off jean shorts and no shirt. I'd have this wicked year-round tan. I'd have hair. Like everything would be better if I lived in SoCal.
Wow. Okay. What do you think, Ace?
I would want to live in Paris
Okay.
in 1923.
1923.
It's the roaring 20s. You're in Paris. You got all of these. I'm just thinking, I just want to live in the movie Midnight in Paris.
Oh. You just want to actually act that out and live that life.
I want to be in the cast. I want to be one of those characters that gets to hang out with Ernest Hemingway and Salvador Dali and
All the cool kids.
Yeah, all the cool kids.
Right. Like almost the old school Rat Pack kind of guys.
Yeah. Sure.
I would say I want to live in Antarctica. I want to be an emperor penguin, and I want to march like the penguins to the sea to get food and to put an egg underneath my feet and fat belly, to incubate and wait for my mate to come back so I can then do the cycle over and over again. That's me. Antarctica right there. Discipline, hardship, misery.
Companionship.
And companionship. It's sprinkled in between that. So I don't know if that helps, Georgie, and I don't know if that's any better than Colorado, but, that's where we all want to live, buddy. Lionel from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania writes, Dear Win, did you guys see the video or pics of Bill Clinton giddy with excitement playing with balloons at the closing of the DNC like a 3-year-old boy at his birthday party? Any thoughts or commentary? I did see these videos, and I did actually see the pictures. I almost wondered what was going on in Bill's head at that moment, actually. Whether or not he's actually been in touch with anything that has to do with the outside world, like a balloon, common, everyday folk stuff. For so long, he was enamored like he's never seen one before. It's like almost like a person from the South or from Africa that sees snow for the first time when they come to the Northern Hemisphere. They're just absolutely in awe of these white things coming out of the sky. And that's exactly what Bill looked like when those balloons are dropping. I mean, he did look like a 3-year-old kid. I agree with you there, Lionel. That was very interesting and maybe borderline bizarre. I don't know. What do you think?
I saw these photos. I saw, it's like 17 pictures of Bill Clinton. So glad to have balloons. And wasted 5 minutes of my day doing that.
And they were really like fancy balloons, some of them too, like with stars on it. Yeah, they weren't cheap.
I was more interested in who was this other guy that Hillary was holding hands with.
Yeah.
I haven't done the research, but I'm curious.
And he was reaching up to catch a balloon, and he saw Hillary, looking at the balloon, and he pulled his hand away like, "Ooh, I cannot do that. Otherwise, I'll end up in, the basement behind the DNC somewhere, getting flogged for touching her balloon or something."
Oh, I don't. That what? You know something we don't, Alex?
Well, I've got a little inside track, and that's why we're going to shift it over to Jim. Jim, what do you think?
Well, I actually have a question for you, Asa. You spent 5 minutes looking at these pictures of Bill Clinton with balloons. How long would you have spent actually playing with a balloon? More or less time?
Like if I was in that circumstance, if I was on the DNC stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have spent more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many balloons.
Yeah.
I envy your ability to just embrace life and everything that's fun about it.
Exactly.
I think that tells you Bill Clinton has reached a stage in his life where he's just comfortable and he's like, I'm just going to enjoy, the things that life throws at me because I have fewer tomorrows than yesterdays. So I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, that's very deep.
Balloons make for one of the funnest games or I beg your pardon, most fun games. I hear you out there, grammar sticklers. One of the most fun games, which is keep it up in the air.
Oh,
Just you're batting the
Yep.
balloon around
Yep.
and don't let it touch
that's
the
great.
ground.
I like that.
Classic.
It is classic. It doesn't matter if you use your shoulders, your feet, your knees, your hands, your head.
It's a game that will go on for as long as humanity is around because it is the eternal struggle between keeping it up in the air and gravity.
Oh, yeah. It's the constant fight.
Yep.
Especially for men.
Yep. Well, what?
Becky from
I think
Palm
it's for everybody. But all right.
Becky from Palm Springs, California.
Actually, I'm sorry. No, Asa, there was just an article. Women are not affected by gravity
Absolutely
anymore.
not.
Yeah.
They've cheated that now. There's
Wow.
science and technology that allows you to do this. You know, if you have a, well,
And I imagine this science and technology was made by men.
You're welcome, ladies.
that's right. We want to help you out. Forget about us. We're going to pathetically age. Becky from Palm Springs, California writes, Dear Wim, did you hear about the guy who just skydived from 25,000 feet without a parachute right into a giant net on purpose and lived? What do you think of that? And what's the craziest thing you guys have ever done?
Nothing like that.
Well, I mean, it's perspective, Ace. Maybe you've done something crazier that this guy would say, that's nuts. You know,
That guy would say is nuts.
Right.
I mean, what a point of reference, though. I mean, I did see I did hear about that, and I just thought it was like a really fanciful goodbye to the world or something. I didn't know that there was this whole net situation, and
Crazy.
I still don't understand how that works, but whatever.
Well, he jumped out Keanu Reeves style in Point Break, you know, without a parachute, and he had like 3 or 4 guys next to him, right, that were kind of somewhat, you know, guiding him or helping him remove his oxygen mask and so on the way down and giving him cues and stuff. And then the last 6,000 feet, whatever, 9,000 feet, he aimed in at this massive net sitting on the desert floor, and he had to, a couple times down, he would flip over on his back to practice the rollover, right? And he's coming in at 150 miles an hour. And, you know, so he had to roll over, he had to land on his back, and if he misses that net, then you're right, it's a fanciful goodbye. But he hit it, and he landed on his back, and he survived. And I don't know how they engineered that net to take that kind of terminal velocity, you know, and actually
And
stop
not
it.
like crush him.
Yeah, not crush him, not hurt him. He walked away from it, you know, but he almost missed it.
That is a triumph of modern physics, is what it is. Well, of classical physics, even.
Yeah, explain.
Well, no, I mean, just to
Yeah,
do the
tell us about classical physics.
Tell us about some classical physics. Jimbo, you know about this stuff.
No, it's just impressive. Like, you know how fast the guys, I mean, they know he's going to hit terminal velocity.
Yep.
So we have to engineer a net that's going to have enough give that it won't break his bones because they can only take so much stress.
Right.
And, you know, landing flat on his back. Like, people have survived skydiving when their chute doesn't open.
Yep.
So, like, they just did the math, and, like, good for them.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
I mean,
Wait. People have survived given a failed parachute?
oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've been in traction for a couple months. It was a plot line on King of the Hill, if I recall correctly, but it's based on reality.
Landing in a cornfield.
Yeah, but I mean, if you land right, like flat on your back, you can disperse the force across your whole body, so it's not like, you know, it's not like you're just going to break your back if you land on the tip of a tree or something, where all that pressure is going to be concentrated in one spot.
So it has to be an absolutely perfect scenario to walk away from it. But yeah, the fact that he was willing to do this and to aim for a net from 25,000 feet up and still hit that net, otherwise it's a wrap, you know, kind of a deal. Yeah, that's pretty, you know, I mean, we're still not answering the winner's question here.
True.
So what is the craziest thing you've ever done?
Normal skydiving?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's crazy. It was anticlimactic and dumb.
Really?
And I would recommend it to no one.
You didn't like it, huh?
Oh, no. It was so stupid.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ace?
The craziest thing I've ever done?
Right.
Wow, that's a thinker.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what about you? You go for you first, Alex. I imagine you've got some pretty crazy.
Well,
stuff
I
that
do
you've
have
done.
some pretty interesting, maybe not so crazy. Maybe they are. I don't know. But yeah, they're all running through my head at the same time right now. So to try to focus one in under the same premise of nuts, like this guy jumping out of an airplane at 25,000 feet, you know, to kind of wrangle it into that logic. The craziest thing I ever done. The craziest thing I ever done. Maybe the craziest thing I ever done was to question whether or not things are crazy at all.
Whoa.
Boo. Boo.
Boo.
That was lame.
Boo.
What's the most boards you jumped over with your bike back in the day?
Oh man, I used to do like acid drops with skateboards off of trucks and stuff. And I played a lot of soccer, so it was one of these things where I had to make a decision between soccer and stop skating to do the old school thrasher style. You know, otherwise I was going to break my ankles at some point in time or break a femur or something. I wouldn't say that's by close. I would say some of the craziest things I've ever done were on mountains, on big mountains, where you know your margins of error are very small. You make a mistake, and that could be the end of it. What'd you say? Glorious, what? Death?
A fanciful goodbye.
A fanciful goodbye. Yes, exactly. So there's been a couple of those situations and also even things where you kind of cheated, death in a car, for example. You know, there's some pretty interesting things that
Would you swim with sharks?
I would. I'd go swim with sharks off of Gansby in South Africa. I was really big into scuba diving years ago, and I love it. I would definitely do that in a heartbeat. I have been skydiving.
I think what we have established is that Asa and I are sensible people who will live long.
And prosper.
Hopefully. But we're at least gonna take a long shot at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's some pretty interesting things that you can do as either a bored person or an adventurous person or someone that's driven to achieve a goal. And I think some of my craziest things have all fallen into either one of those three categories. You know, so. Yeah, I don't know if I can live up to that one there, but at the end of the day, he did it, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty impressive.
Can I say one thing I actually would love to do is I'd like to be in one of those squirrel suits one day.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
To fly through the fjords in Norway or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you have it. And that's pretty much going to do the end. We're not even going to get to Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
At World Improv Net on Twitter. Mile High Sports Radio. Oh, I got time. Okay. Yo, check us out on Facebook, World Improv Network. You can check us out on YouTube, subscribe, like our videos over there. Check us out. Send us some suggestions on Twitter at World Improv Net. Check out our podcast on iTunes. Subscribe, leave some reviews, leave some stars. And you can check us out every Sunday night live on KDCO 104.7, Facebook Live, or right here on Mile High Sports Radio AM 1340.
Thanks for listening to Win on Mile High Sports Radio. Don't forget to be a winner and interact with the cast by sending your suggestions or questions for each show segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, on Twitter at World Improv Net, or by calling into the Mile High Sports Radio studio line on Sundays before or during the show. See you next week.